Hey everyone, my name is KryptoCal and welcome to the next episode of All the Mods 9, GregTech Gauntlet. In the last episode, we set up this sterile clean room where we are now making these weird organic compounds that we're going to be using in the next tier of circuit, which we're going to start off today by making. And I've gone ahead and set up the very first one here, the first wetware processor. We can go ahead and grab one of these, which will complete our quest. And this is just making use of these neuro processing units and also some crystal CPUs here to make these units. Now, there are a couple more we have to get into. We have to get to the processor assembly and then also the processor supercomputer. And once we've gotten that one, this basically lets us get right into the last chapter, UHV, and start progression from there. And boy, that chapter is looking really scary. But I have no fear. Do you have fear, Grace?
I do. I have
No, you have no fear. Wrong answer.
No.
Processor assembly is done. Now what we do is take the wetware processor assembly here. We grab one of these. We get a data orb, and this should allow us to make the research in the research station. You there, and we are researching the next tier of circuit here. I think we have everything we need actually to make this work.
Check this out.
Here
We'll
comes...
watch it go instantly build.
Wow.
Get going. It's built.
Oh,
it got stuck. Out of gunpowder. It's zooming. Look at it go. Ooh. Ooh. Spicy.
I love the schematic.
That took 5 seconds, and I love it. Why don't we just, from here all the way up, leave this for reactors? We just cut down on space, is my thought.
Yeah, we could do that. That's fine. Okay, so we made our next room here, ready to get into UHV, which is awesome. We kept the middle area completely open, and that's because we are going to be probably needing a bunch more fusion reactors. And instead of limiting ourselves to having, you know, upper and lower floors where we're going to squish in some fusion reactors down here and then some upstairs, we figured we'd just go ahead and make the entire middle area open so that we can just stack a giant tower of fusion reactors, because I don't know how many we're going to need, and I'd rather have more space than less. So taking a look here, if we take a look at our UV quest line, we can actually get the last tier of circuit, wetware processor supercomputer. This is craftable. We can craft one of these up. We'll go ahead and get our very first one. And there it is. That's the end. Honestly, UV wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, but UHV is starting to look scary.
Oh yeah, this is going to be rough. I got a good quest reward there, hey? I got a Neutronium machine casing.
All right, well, we need liquid Nequadria. Nequadria ingot turns into liquid Nequadria. And we do have Nequadria ingots. So all we have to do is get an extractor out. How expensive are the MK3 machine casings? We need 48. All right, so we are going to be short on ZPM circuits. We are missing a lot of europium. Oh boy, are we missing europium. That's a buffer issue. This is a buffer issue. This is not a buffer issue. This is just a speed issue. Getting 16 millibuckets of this stuff every 3 seconds is just, I just feel like it's not going to cut it. And to solve our europium issue, I went ahead and added one more fusion reactor just below the other ones I had here. And what I did was I just made the top two here running liquid europium, so that would hopefully speed up our europium production a little bit. I could go ahead and make this into a higher tier reactor. I might end up doing that once we can start setting up the MK3s, because the MK3s are going to be our best tier of fusion reactor that we can set up. And now that we have a brand new wing, we can put a couple more fusion reactors over there. And then I have the ludium just running down here. We can make the MK3 casings. We can make 32. This is going to cost us 448 europium, but we do have enough europium now. Thankfully, we have a decent little supply. But once we have the fusion casings, we're going to need some input hatches, all that stuff. I am actually going to make the reactor itself. I think we have everything we need here. We're missing double americium plates and 4 of the wetware processor mainframes. Those should be craftable. I thought I had those on craft, so I'll have to double check that. Oh, wait, no, those are different.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
We have to research this circuit now in the research station with data module, but that takes 96 CWU per tick. What are we supplying? I think it's only like 72. Yeah, 72. So we're gonna need to add a third one.
Oh, you know what time it is? You know what time of day it is for me? It's reactant time. Decongestant time. That antihistamine. Let's go.
Running these optical cables is really annoying though. Coolant. That should now provide this network switch with more. We get 108 CWU per tick. Actually, a little bit more than what we need for this. We needed 90 something. And once we have that, then we can make the last wetware circuit, which is the wetware processor mainframe. The best man has ever seen. Your first and only UHV circuit. This is the last circuit we have to make. Now, why is this flickering back here? What's going on? Are we out of power?
We have a creative power cell.
I mean, that's my only explanation though. Like
It's creative power.
And there we go. We have the wetware processor mainframe lined up. We'll get this put inside of our data bank and let's see if we can craft it. Ready for this, Grace? This is the final circuit that we have to craft. This takes 50 seconds running at UHV speeds.
That's insane.
Here it is. We got it. We got a bunch of quest rewards too on the
yeah, from all the Greg Star
Greg
ones.
stuff. Yeah,
it was the requirement for a lot of like the non-Greg related ones.
Cool. So let's get that MK3 going. And can we craft 48? Oh my gosh, this is insanely expensive. Let's get them started. Now it's just a matter of waiting for it, and then we're gonna put it, I guess, at the bottom of the new wing, right? UHV.
Yeah, new wing. Let's go.
And don't mind the accidental gap that we left here by making this not be centered. I will copy and paste gadget this thing because odds are we are going to be using a few of these. And with our MK3 data module all ready to go here, we should be able to just place it in here, and that should finish the craft, or at least start the craft now. There we go. And that's the last piece that we need to finish the MK3 fusion reactor. Place it down, and multi-block did not form because I forgot 2 pieces of glass. Ta-da! And this recipe to make the Neutronium, we have to combine liquid americium and nequadria. Now, one thing I did realize is if we want this to always guarantee to come out of one of these output hatches, and because there's a bunch of options for output hatches that the liquid could come out of. And if we're not hooking in every single one, we actually have to block these off to make sure that nothing can actually go into them. And the way I've been doing it is I've just been putting water in the slots that I don't want to use. Every single output hatch except for the ones over here. And that should be good. So once this thing boots up, we should see this start to produce Neutronium every 5 seconds. Okay.
That's not too bad. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I am just concerned about how much of the other fluid we're going to be chewing through for this. So we'd have to more than double our americium production in order to keep up with that Neutronium. Darmstadium. We have it running in this MK2 here, and I'm wondering if it might be worth it to switch this over to also be doing americium.
It seems like it's not going to be too relevant. I say probably about to eat my words.
All right, so we have 2 liquid americiums now running. Hopefully that's going to be able to keep up. It's not perfectly the right speed for this, so we will probably at some point run out of americium, but we'll run out quite a bit slower. All right, there is enough space here. We can actually squeeze in 2 more MK2s. So I think we'll just make use of this space here. We'll do 2 more MK2s here, and then after that, everything will just be an MK3. Our goal here is to get to the point where we have a couple things. One, we have to get ruthenium, trinium, americium, neutronate ingot with ruthenium, trinium, americium dust, and neutronium dust. Now, the one thing that would make this whole process going forward a whole lot easier is getting the not a neutronium B. The not a neutronium B can be crafted up by giving in Aquata B a certificate of not being a noob anymore. And this thing can be made inside of an UHV extruder with 2 stacks of neutronium blocks, which is insane. But once we do have one of these guys, it will basically produce us infinite neutronium, which sounds like a pretty good deal in my opinion.
So once we have the neutronium, the other bees are ready and we're good to make them. I'm very excited about it. I've wanted so badly to not be a noob anymore for so long. I've really gotten to feel like I might not be a noob anymore by the time I get the certificate, you know? Ooh.
1,152 neutronium ingots. That sounds like a lot of neutronium, considering we only have 7 buckets right now.
We're working on it. And by working on it, I mean we'll be here a while. Time to go make some pizza, have some tea, read a book. Just
63
Hey, it's almost a
ingots.
stack. That's almost a stack of ingots. That's not terrible.
Because Neutronium is quite expensive, I think our best course of action here to just guarantee our Neutronium supply going forward is going to actually be holding off on doing any of this other Neutronium progression, anything that would require using Neutronium ingots, and just save as much as we can. Because if we can save enough Neutronium to get that not a noob certificate, and once we have nuggets coming in vast quantities, then Neutronium will never be an issue again, because we can also take Neutronium ingots and remelt them back down into the fluid. So if we ever do need to use the fluid in the future, we can do it that way as well. So we're looking at about 22.5 seconds per Neutronium ingot. So unfortunately, after doing some math, that is going to be approximately 7 hours of AFK time, which...
So a workday. That's not bad. That's not that bad.
Until then, there's a couple things on the side here we can get going. The triniquad alloy, or triniquad alloy, that is a recipe that needs to be done inside of an ABS that takes trinium dust, nequada dust, and carbon dust. Even though we do have hours and hours of AFK to let that Neutronium build up, there is still plenty of stuff for us to do in the meanwhile. So let's start with the alloy blast smelter. All right, so I think when you come in here, I think what we'll do is just put the ABS on this side. And of course, you've all seen me set up an ABS before. This isn't anything brand new. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this done. So it's doing it every 25 seconds. It's doing a good amount. So I think that'll be fine. I'm not running this with any neon right now to speed it up. I think this at this speed, I think this is probably fast enough for now. Label it right here. The next step here is for the atomic casing just requires circuit 6, just a normal circuit 6 recipe. Let's actually put that in now because, well, we have all the ingredients. How much Neutronium do we have? 127. Hey.
It just takes time, and that's okay.
Speaking of time, I got lots of time here to add in
So much time.
iron plasma bucket. What this thing is going to take liquid magnesium and liquid silicon. Let's go ahead and grab a copy paste MK3. Well, that thing is fast. That's making so much. We should probably have this limited.
Oh, you're using a create thing in here.
Not sure why I haven't been using the create links. This is a great idea. Well, I think what we're going to do is take a bit of a break. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of AFK time, probably into tomorrow a bit. We're going to AFK, get all the Neutronium that we need. And when we come back, it'll hopefully have been, well, a few hours, but we should hopefully have enough Neutronium to actually make that not a noob certificate. And we can officially become not noobs anymore, for one.
Oh, that'd be great.
But then also, we should be able to make that not a Neutronium B, get that guy inside of an apiary ASAP, and, well, start producing infinite Neutronium for free.
Let's go.
And it is the next day after that clip, and, well, we've been doing some AFKing. Well, mainly Grace has been doing some AFKing.
We've been doing AFK, sir.
About, what, 7-8 hours of AFK to get all the Neutronium we need. But we do have now Neutronium. We have 1,308, which is just enough to craft up one certificate of no longer being a noob. I can go ahead and request a certificate of not being a noob anymore. Grace,
And I have a friend.
we're no longer a noob.
Look at the friend. Look at the friend. He's ready to have his certificate.
This takes 820 seconds. That's like 15 minutes. Well, anyway, we'll come back in 15 minutes, I guess. 10 more seconds, and then we will no longer be noobs anymore.
Oh, it's been so long. I've been a noob forever.
So, time to go find your little Nequada
My bee
bee.
friend?
Where's he at?
He's right here.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Boop.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Not a Neutronium bee.
I set this up, though. We should be good to put him in. That's cool.
There we go.
Okay.
Every 1 second, we're getting 40. Wow. Pick out you. I'll put that in. Okay, so we have Neutronium now being stored here. It is extracting our Neutronium, and we have liquid Neutronium under here. So now that we have that, we basically have infinite Neutronium. And if you take a look, even in that very short time, we already are up to, well, now that it's extracting into the fluid, we're going to have less, but we do have an absolute ton of Neutronium now. The next step here, now that we have infinite Neutronium, is going to be trying just to start and clear up some of these quests to get towards the Starforge. As you can see here, we have the atomic casings already made up and the recipe is in, so that's going to be no problem. We also have to get the UV field generator, and that is going to be pretty pricey. We're going to have to do a little bit of research here And this is just done inside of the assembly line with some resources here that we should have. Other than that, we also have to get this new material, and that is done using just some of the molten stuff in an ABS with neutronium dust, ruthenium dust, tritium dust, and americium dust. It boots on, and we are now making molten ruthenium, tritium. Let's now go ahead and start making the other fusion reactors that we're going to need for all of these different plasmas. We need basically 3 more for this one, and then we also need to get, I think it's argon plasma, which just takes carbon, liquid carbon, and magnesium. What I'll do is I'll just make 2 more MK3s here. We need to finish this quest anyway, so might as well. All right, so Grace is crafting up 1 more certificate of not being a noob because our Neutronium is coming in super fast. In other news though, I have enough stuff here to make 2 more MK3 reactors, which will be used for, I guess, oxygen and nitrogen plasma. This should complete all of the quests that we've kind of missed up until this point. So we get our quest reward for that, for the Neutronium, and also for the material down here. So we are all caught up on quest rewards now. But now I should be able to just copy paste gadget in. Hopefully this just forms.
I love quest rewards. Quest rewards are great.
We have 2 more reactors waiting and ready to go. This is going to take liquid carbon and helium-3. This is a pretty bad recipe, actually, all things considered. This is very expensive. It looks like if we distill nether air, we get a little bit better return here. We got 2.5 buckets. Well, then maybe what I'll do is I'll go find somewhere in the nether that we can go and set up some air collectors. Lots of nether air is coming in, which is perfect. Nether air. If we just throw in some integrated dynamics, this should import all of our nether air. We have to then cool this down in a vacuum freezer. Do we have helium-3? We do. Perfect. That is what we're going to be using inside of this first reactor, helium-3. This one is going to be liquid carbon, oxygen plasma. The champion of noobs.
That's us. You better believe we're the champions of noobs.
What is the recipe for this? Liquid beryllium and deuterium. There we go. We're making the nitrogen plasma now. All right, we just need 2 more now. We need the helium plasma and argon plasma. So I'm going to go ahead and get those set up as well. I don't think those recipes are that complicated. The argon is just liquid carbon and magnesium, which we have, and the liquid helium, or the plasma helium, is just deuterium and tritium, both of which we also have. We have tritium in stock here. We have plenty of it. So I'll go ahead and get a couple more of these fusion reactors in, and then we should have all the plasmas that we need. I'm just configuring the last one here, and once we have this put in with the power, this should start producing us. Yes, the argon plasma. Very nice. We have all of the plasmas that we're going to need to craft up the robust star housing. Taking a look here, we're almost there. We have everything crafted up and ready to go to actually make the star forge. If I put the recipe in for the star forge into the assembly line, I already did the research for it. This is going to require us to have all of these components. Grace set up the Gravistar with the quantum star and the Neutronium. So we have everything in the stock. That's crazy. That's going to unlock all of the endgame crafts and basically allow us to get to the point where we're ready to make the Greg Star. There's just a few more components within this that we actually do need to get. So for example, we need to get the energy cluster. These are going to be used inside of the Star Forge to make some components. So we'll probably end up starting the next episode with this. And we are on track to potentially in the next episode get the Greg Star. I can't believe we're actually saying that. Like I don't even believe myself.
I don't believe it yet. I actually don't.
I feel like we're gonna like get to the next episode, get in and realize there's some like massive crafting line or chain that we haven't explored yet that we need to do still, and it's gonna be like 3 episodes worth, and it's like
100%. I'm on the same, like I feel like we're about to be like, oh, we're gonna get it, and then it's just gonna be, oh wait, actually you have 8 more steps and like a whole new tier of energy and voltage to get to.
But with that, I think that's where we're going to call it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. But that's it for me, everybody. I hope you have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next and potentially last episode of GregTech Gauntlet. See you there. Bye.